TSF here, and today I'm gonna be doing a quick video explaining operator amps. Now, for those who haven't gotten past that part in the story, pretty much, if any of you haven't passed the second dream quest, then this might be a small spoiler pretty much ahead of you. But anyway, today this video is about explaining how to get an amp pretty much, and how to make them. So today, right now, I'm in Cetus right now, and I'm gonna be using my operator to enter the room back here, the one behind Kanzu, with the operator. So right here, you go into this room pretty much, right here. There are a lot of players using their operator as well. Now the way you get operator is by unlocking the second dream quest, but in order to play as the operator, you need to unlock the warp within and complete the warp within. So anyway, so this guy right here is Anko. You get the first amp pretty much when you talk to him the first time as well. He gives you a mode amp, but the mode amp can only help you so far pretty much. The mode amp will help you kill bomb-bullets and stuff like that, but in order to get better amp, you have to kill more than that. You gotta trade with him. For Anko, you gotta trade sentient quartz, which you get by killing bomb-bullets, or by capturing or killing the terrorists, hydralists, and gauntalists. So yeah. And the more you rank up, the more better stuff you can get pretty much during this. For example, this right here is the amp assembly. You can come up with custom design pretty much for like primary fire, secondary fire, and then the brace pretty much that will help you depend the status effect pretty much on it. Like for example, this right here. You can change up the damage as well, pretty much depending what you pick as well. Like for example, Clamora, Propa Scaffold, and Cerberus Brace. So with any combination that you try, pretty much you make your own amp pretty much. But in order for you to get good amp pretty much, I would suggest you either using this combination where you get from Little Duck, but I'll explain that in a bit. But for Cetus, the amp you should mostly try to attain is this one right here. This amp might be decent pretty much. It's just like a wave of energy that hits enemies a bit, and the secondary fire goes an explosion pretty much that hits anyone around it pretty much a bit nearby it. This amp is also pretty good for Eidolon hunting as well, but the Clamora on the other hand has a bigger buff up towards it pretty much as well, because they have fire range pretty much. Shooting like a giant flamethrower or Kamehameha, how would you call it? But anyway, in order to get standing with Anko, you have to trade the sentient quartz for standing. The more sentient quartz you're given pretty much, the more you can rank up with him. You start off as neutral, mode, observer, adherent, instrument, and architect. So here are a lot of things he can give you pretty much, and arcanes are also used for the operator and the Warframe. Two arcanes that will come very handy is Arcane Bigger, which gives you help if you're starting new as the operator, and Arcane Husk for armor, so you can stay alive in the operator for a longer time. So anyway, during every rank up pretty much, they give you 3 parts for amps pretty much. The mode amp you can also rebuy pretty much if you haven't leveled it up or gilded it. But here you can buy 3 parts pretty much from every time you rank up. This is rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4, and that's about it. There's 4 ranks with Anko, and with Little Duck I would say there's like 3 ranks or 4 as well. But anyway, what you do is when you get standing pretty much and you rank up with him, get more standing, buy these parts that you need pretty much in order to make yourself an amp. Once you have the blueprint, you go to your foundry on the orbiter and you start building the parts if you have the necessary materials. But in order to get some of these materials, you have to rank up to level 5 or rank 5 pretty much with Kanzu in order to access a lot of these materials pretty much, or rank 4 pretty much for short as well. As long as you can get the material by mining pretty much, or catching a lot of fish by fishing, or killing enemies, or finding materials around the plains of Eidolon, you can use the material to make these amps. And over here on other services, so anyway, guild pretty much amp. When you level up a regular amp for your first time pretty much and reach 30 with it, when you go to Konzo again, or Encore I mean, you can go to him and you can guild the amp one more time pretty much. And what it does pretty much, it makes your amp improve pretty much on the status effect that it has pretty much, or the critical chance, and help you increase the damage a bit. Provide will only let you sell the amp pretty much that you do not want pretty much for standing in exchange. And this will change the name for the amp that you go with it, and yes, you can name the amp. So anyway, I'm gonna show you a little bit how to get the Bombalist and the Sentient Cores, and I'm gonna be showing off my amp. So here we are in the Plains of Eidolon. So what you do now pretty much, once you checked with Uncle. So once you check with Uncle pretty much, like the amp parts that you need pretty much, all you have to do is go around the Plains of Eidolon and find Bombalist pretty much. Once you find Bombalist, you gotta either you have to kill them pretty much, and they'll drop a Sentient Core. If I can find some, okay, right here. But they have two faces. As you can see, they turn into a little ghost, but when they're like this, you cannot damage it with pistol. But the only way you can damage it is by killing it with the amp. Like that. And this is my amp. So what this amp does is the Clamora Purpose and Surdis amp pretty much, the one I explained earlier. So yeah. And as you saw pretty much, the Bombalist drops the Sentient Cores. Once you gather them pretty much, you gotta keep grinding them, but there's two ways to get them. You can either kill the Bombalist pretty much, or you can either find the Eidolon that roams around the Plains of Eidolon at night pretty much. If you find the Eidolon pretty much in the Plains of Eidolon pretty much, if you damage him, he should be getting pissed off enough to summon more Bumbalists your way, and with the Bumbalists you can get Sentient Cores from them. So yeah, that's another way to get the Sentient Cores. So yeah. So once you get enough Sentient Cores as well, all you have to do is go to Uncle and trade the Sentient Cores, and then he'll give you the standing pretty much. And then with the standing, you can either rank up, or you can buy blueprint parts that you need pretty much for the amp that you're making, or buy Cetus Wiz. And the way you get Cetus Wiz, there's two ways for it. Either you rank up to rank 4 with Uncle, and you can buy it from him with standing, or you can go around near oceans, like near water areas, like near the shores, and find Cetus Wiz that are floating around. But just so you know, they're really hard to find pretty much, and it takes a while to try and search for them, because you gotta look in a lot of areas for them pretty much. But I would say the other method is better pretty much, because over here buying them will make it a lot more easier, a lot more quicker for you to get the Cetus Wiz instead of taking hours over here in the Plains of Eidolon trying to find them. So yeah. And they're needed to guild the amp as well pretty much. If you have Cetus Wiz, you can guild the amp and make an amp part as well. So yeah. So keep that in mind. Now to the next. Now we're in Fortuna right now. And the way you find Fortuna pretty much is on Venus. And for Cetus, you just find it on Earth pretty much. Very simple. So once you're in Fortuna, you go all the way behind Erico once you completed the Live Together mission, Solaris United, and you go back here. This is gonna be another important thing pretty much. But in order to access this, you need to be rank 5 with Solaris United standing pretty much. So that's gonna be a lot of bounties and a lot of grinding for materials that you're gonna need to rank up to 5. Because of the materials earned from this is very important for you to rank up with Little Duck pretty much, just so you know.
Spoke to the business lately? How is he? Does he ever... Never mind. You and me, we need to talk.
So anyway, this is a deck right now. And for some of you guys that don't know, eventually when you're rank 5, they start revealing their heads pretty much, right here pretty much. Very strange character design, but oh well. But anyway, with Little Duck, you trade something called toroids pretty much. The way you get yellow, orange, and green toroids is by going certain location with bases and killing a lot of enemies. They have a random chance to drop them pretty much. The last light toroid, you get it from the exploiter orb that me and SP showed you guys before during our previous videos. And during our failed profit taker video that you guys watched recently as well. If you haven't pretty much check out our channel pretty much, and you should see it there. The profit taker dropped crimson toroid, which is needed to rank up to 5 pretty much for Little Duck, and you need 5 of these. And they have good amount of standing as well. The last light toroid gives you 12,000 standing pretty much, which is gonna be a lot more quicker to rank up with Little Duck pretty much. Crimson toroid, Christmas toroid has 6,000 standing, and the other one has 1,000. So yeah. So what you do with these pretty much, you trade them in for standing with Little Duck. And as before pretty much, you rank up with her pretty much until you're all the way. You can even get arcanes from Little Duck and Uncle pretty much, as I said before. A few arcanes of these are actually pretty good as well, but mostly focus on the ones that are going to give you a bigger effect pretty much during the battle. And you can even search up YouTubers videos as well pretty much for it. So right here, these are the amps pretty much. Rank 1 or rank 1. These few points are the ones that give you first. At rank 2 or 3, they give you these. And at rank 4, they give you the Clamora, the Purple, and Sturgis Brace. And these 3 right here is a good combination when it comes to Eidolon hunting. As you saw my amp earlier, pretty much in the Plains of Eidolon, this amp right here, this is the combination I use, and it comes very helpful when dealing with the Eidolon, because it helps you take down the shields a lot more quicker. So, and you can also make the amp from here as well, pretty much from Little Duck. You can also buy clothes from Uncle and Little Duck pretty much for the operator. But anyway, as I mentioned before, the operator amp, you can make them with Little Duck like this. Once you buy the blueprint parts pretty much and make them in your foundry. But just so you know, for some of these amp parts, it's needed. For some of these amp parts, it's needed to also get toroids and the systems for gyromag, Atmo, and repeller system pretty much. And the way you get them is through Profit Taker quest, or Profit Taker bounty pretty much. And the way to activate the Profit Taker bounty is by reaching alerts to rank 5 with Edico that's over there outside the door. And then when you rank up to 5 with her, you should be able to talk to Edico for 2 quests. You can do Explorer Orb, but it doesn't give you much rewards on it except for getting you Hildren and the last light toroid. Profit Taker. Profit Taker will start you off pretty much like this. The rewards are very handy pretty much on them. They can give you toroids and they can give you all 3 systems as well pretty much, like this. They also bring good mods for Archgun as well pretty much as well. But you do not fight the Profit Taker in these. And the third one, you only have to like test out the damage against the shield whenever he changes, like for practice. But in this one, this is where you fight him off pretty much and try kill him pretty much, as we tried showing you in the video that we failed, that me and the cat failed. But the mods here are actually pretty good when you have an Archgun as well. They might be really great with critical damage and do a lot of damage as well. You can also get relics and a lot of the systems as well from here. So yeah, and as I mentioned, the toroids you get them from either killing the enemies in the random bases, or the 2 other toroids which from killing Profit Taker and then Explorer Orb. So yeah. So anyway everyone, I hope the build comes out very handy pretty much for those beginning with an operator and need some help pretty much trying to figure out how to get an amp. I hope the build makes a good explanation, and yeah. So remember guys, if you want more Red Dead 15, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more Red Dead 15. I am Shadow, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out everyone.